Good morning, Zero here, and today we're talking about a Google Stadia creative director who had some very hot takes on the twatters recently, and we're going to be talking about DMCA and I guess the hypocritical nature of this person, something like that. So let's get into it, shall we? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should go ahead and do so now. And at the end of the video, if you like it, dislike it. If you don't dislike it, share it out, all that good jazz. And let's just see. Let's look into this. What do we got here? We got Alex Hutchinson, right? Creative director at Google Stadia. Now, if you're looking at his actual Twitter profile, this is not what you're going to see. This is using the Wayback Machine to, I think, the 23rd or 24th, like a couple of days ago. Or technically, I guess yesterday, from where I'm recording this, from it coming actually out on the channel. It's been a few days, right? And this is what his thing actually looks like now. As you can see, the Google Stadia was taken away, and the other company involved in all that stuff, the SG&E Montreal studio, has been put in its place because, you know, I guess it's harder to track that back to Stadia in a way. I mean, heck, when I went and I did a search for it, all I really got was things on this guy and not the actual, Montreal studio, SG&E Montreal studio, which I was trying to pull up, but I also didn't feel like spending 5 minutes looking for it. So, yeah, no, that's what we got. But there were some very, very hot takes. And, never mind the fact that, somebody's going to hop on and stream Fall Guys, October 22nd before this whole thing happened. But also on same day, we had this very, very hot take about DMCAs and stuff, right? That's what we're talking about today. I do not have coffee at this point in time. I drank it all earlier. So we're going to have some Mountain Dew. And speaking of which, no, I'm kidding. I'm not sponsored by Mountain Dew. Anyway, no, but seriously, we got Alex Hutchinson here. Streamers worrying about getting their content pulled. And this is all within context of, there's like something on me. Anyway, within context of, what is it? Twitch and DMCAs, which is something we're going to be talking about. Either that video came out yesterday or tomorrow. I don't really remember where this is in the line of things because I'm recording things out of order, which I usually don't do. But anyway, streamers worry about getting their content pulled because they use music they didn't pay for, should be more worried about the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. The real truth is the streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use. Now, we're talking about DMCA, and the area is kind of gray with a lot of stuff, right? I think music should also fall under the same guidance of, I guess, where we've got games currently located in this gray area when it comes to DMCA. If you're playing music in the background of your stream, it is purely to enhance the stream. People don't go to your stream to listen to Will Smith's whatever or the Red Hot Chili Peppers or whatnot because it's playing in your background, for a couple of minutes and then it swaps to another soundtrack or another thing. They go to a stream to interact with the streamer for the most part, or to watch the streamer play the game and interact with the content. That's generally what it comes down to, why people go to the streams and things like that. If I I don't go to a stream specifically to watch this game or whatnot. I'm there to, for the most part, interact, watch maybe the really good gameplay, something like that, because there's different kinds of people who stream, right? You know, you've got the more laid back streamers, you've got streamers who, you know, are very animated, very, you know, put on a really good show. You have streamers who are insanely skilled, you know, those really skill based, you know, that we're going to speed run this thing or do all these amazing things in Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever it is, and you're watching the skilled gameplay and things like that, just like you would if you were at an esports tournament. You know, which of course, you know, you'd also don't always pay for an esports tournament either, especially if you're watching it on Twitch or something. But anyway, you know, music in the background, I think there should be some kind of thing, you know, so it should probably lie somewhere in the gray. And to be totally honest, a lot of these laws need to be worked on, right? They need to be worked on. They need to be fixed for a more modern day, because, you know, a lot of this stuff was put in like this, what is it? The DMCA is 1984 or something. I can't remember. No, 98? 98? Anyway, I can't remember the exact date, okay? But that was back when the internet was very young. Things were, if there was even internet, there was internet back then. Yeah, anyway, the internet was very young. You know, we had dial-up, you had to sacrifice a robot and, you know, get onto the interwebs using its dying screams in order to actually attain a connection to the World Wide Web. But, you know, and there's other things in there that are there are other things when it comes to different stuff, like, right, if you take a TV show and put it directly on to the interwebs with nothing there, then you're violating copyright, right? Especially if you're you know, making money off of it. So if you take a show, The 100, and you put an episode of the 100 online on your YouTube channel or Twitch or something like that, and you don't talk about it, you don't do anything, you just, and it's just watched, right? People watch it and then they pay you for it and all this other stuff. That's a violation of the copyright, right? You know, it's something that can be DMCA'd really quickly and probably should. But if, say, you were critiquing something, say you go on to the 100 and you're critiquing this particular episode when these things happen, and you don't play, you know, the whole thing, you bring up screen stills, or maybe you play 2 seconds of a scene to show what was going on right that specific second you're critiquing it, that's a completely different thing. It's considered like transformative and all this other stuff, and sure, whoever owns that show can still DMCA you, and they probably will, just saying. You know, unless you're using just straight up stills and they can't never catch it or whatnot, but if they do see it, there's a good chance they'll DMCA you and try and claim you're somehow violating their copyright when you're not at that point, right? And you know, I'll be right back. But anyway, music and stuff aside, we're talking about video games. Video games is a completely different medium from traditional. I guess you can call it traditional media, right? You know, when you take a movie or a movie or a TV show or music, you know, there's very little that you can do outside of maybe doing some kind of critique of the particular thing, you know, that you can really do to, you know, not be violating, I guess, the copyright. Now, you can remix the music and that turning it into your own thing, or, you know, you can critique a show, use stills, that sort of thing. But video games are more of an interactive medium. For the most part, most games, no matter who you are, it's going to be different. It's going to be transformed just in the idea of playing the game itself, with the exception of like certain like narrative-focused games, Telltale games, things like that, where there's a lot of QTEs or something, a lot of things you can't really interact with or do anything with, cutscenes and stuff like that, right? Other than that, a lot of games are, you know, in a way transformative as long as you're playing it and doing something that, you know, another player may not do, and all this other stuff. Just, you know, I guess it's kind of splitting hairs at that point. But it really boils down to, like, say, I guess, commentary versus non-commentary, because we've seen those before. I mean, I I've uploaded a few myself where I've just sat back, played a game, didn't speak, no mic was on, and then put it up there. That would probably be subject to a copyright violation, right? Because nothing's happening, I'm just playing the game, and you know, they could easily pull that down, and there's not going to be much I can do about that. But if it was something that and I'm playing, you know, WoW or something over there off to the side, and we're talking about different things, you know, we're discussing whatever they are, I can't remember, Azerite armor or something. But yeah, you know, if we're talking about Azerite armor or something like that, or in the context of Shadowlands, talking about conduits and, you know, covenants and things like that, doing PvE, PvP, and just having a good time chatting, talking about the game and stuff like that, you know, that goes into the whole commentary portion, which would be a transformative form of art, or transformative something another. Anyway, point is, you know, it should be like it doesn't violate the copyright at that point. We've had cases in the past. There is some kind of precedent that is set when it comes to some of these things. I can't remember the guy, what his name was, or anything like that, but essentially he took a photo, right? Somebody else did it, printed it out, and put it in this big thing, and then put a caption at the bottom. I believe he did have to go to court over that because somebody, you know, screamed copyright infringement, blah, 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 my art, and you've not done anything to it and all this other stuff. And I think the court eventually did rule in his favor, saying, yes, that quote at the bottom, you know, that little bit of commentary down there, that was considered transformative in nature enough to the point that he was able to be fine with that. And if I remember correctly, of course. And then, of course, we've got the other one that's more of a recent thing, which is Sargon of Akkad versus Aquila, actually. That's her name, if you've not heard of it. At least her name online, right? It's Carl Benjamin and Aquila Hughes or something like that. Anyway, where he took a video of hers after the election in 2016, right? It was like a good 12, 13, 14-minute video, chopped it into bits, like really, I guess, the more humorous parts. I never actually saw the video, so I can't tell you what exactly was done there. But, you know, took it and brought it down to like, you know, 1 to 2 minutes of a video and gave it the title like SJW's, gosh, what was it again? SJW, something. Levels of reality or something. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, the title was a commentary on this small little chunk of a video that wasn't even, you know, I guess 25% of her video or something, or her total video runtime. So if you wanted to actually get what she was talking about, you would have to go find her video to watch her video to watch her. And she sued him over that. And and that was back in like 2017 or 16. And we're just now at the intel of that process, and it didn't even go to court. He wound up winning a dismissal, I believe, and they have dismissed the charges, saying that, you know, she doesn't have a case because it runs similar to the vein of the previous thing that I talked about. You know, where he did transform it, you know, it was something for his audience. His audience would, you know, appreciate or whatnot, but her audience isn't going to be looking for that video to get anything that she says out of it and all this other stuff. And now he's countersuing for damages and court costs or something. I think it's just court costs. So he's being very lenient at that, and I think he's going to get that, or he already got that at this point in time. But yeah, I mean, there's some stuff out there, some precedent already set when it comes to a lot of this stuff. You know, and Alex here is making this argument about piracy, essentially, you know, because streamers paid for that game, right? You know, I've got all these tabs open. I never went to a single one. We're already like 14 minutes in. I am so sorry. This is a long one. Anyway, you know, there's just a lot to say when it comes to DMCA, and it's hard to get it all out in a small 10-minute video, you know? I guess if I was actually write things down instead of going on tangents, but you know, you get me, the real me, and you don't get a script. Sorry. If you're here for a script, because I know some of you do want that. This is not the place. I'm sorry. Anyway, but yeah, he's making this appeal to piracy essentially with this, because you didn't pay for that when, in fact, you did. I mean, most of us gamers, we pay for these things, right? You know, I went out and I bought Skyrim. I've bought Skyrim like 3 or 4 different times at this point in my life. I'm pretty sure I've given Bethesda more than enough money to let me stream the dang thing and talk about it if I really wanted to. Yeah. But, you know, some of these games are also free to play, like, what is it? Not Fall Guys, but Among Us. It's free on the phone, but I think it's like $5 on Steam or something, so it's not technically free. But there are other games that are free to play that you can go and you can stream those and stuff like that. You know, so you don't really pay a whole lot into it, but at the same time, there's like this symbiotic relationship because, you know, this sort of stuff does lie in the gray, right? There's not a whole lot of precedent set on whether or not what is legal and what's not, because nobody's really gone out of their way to sue people or to take them down unless you're Square Enix or Nintendo, you know, because Nintendo had their own partner program saying you cannot stream a single one of our games or let's play our games or anything with our games unless you join this Nintendo club, which no longer exists because, well, I'm pretty sure Nintendo found it wasn't very profitable when nobody was really doing your stuff anymore because you've banned them from doing so. Now, granted, there were some people who did get onto that because they had no other choice, because a lot of their channels or stuff, you know, revolved around Nintendo, whether it be Pokemon or something else, you know. So they had a lot of Nintendo stuff on their stuff to begin with, which means they just had no choice but to do that. But for the most part, I think Nintendo finally has figured out, you know, it's much better to just let people play the game, stream it, and get the hype and stuff around it to then have other people purchase it. And then, of course, you got Square Enix and stuff with, you know, various things. What was theirs? Final Fantasy VII Remake, where they were knocking everybody down for trying to play that online, or play that and stream it and stuff. And, you know, you've got the whole Persona thing where, you know, that was getting knocked down and stuff. So, I mean, there are some developers who do that, and I think maybe if somebody had the money and wanted to, could technically probably go into court with that and make a very good case as to why they should be allowed to continue to stream or do Let's Plays on that sort of thing, just based on a lot of the other stuff that has happened. But at the same time, as long as the developers don't go out of their way to smack everybody down like that, which they could, they very much could, you know, there is this symbiotic relationship between gamers, streamers, and products to do things. And I mean, the most recent thing to look at is this. I think this is Fall Guys, right? No, this is Among Us. No, wait. Same thing can be said about other success. Well, yeah, okay, this is Among Us, right? This is the Among Us thing, and it's been out for a bit, right? I was kind of surprised to realize that this game had been out for quite some time, and nobody's paid it attention until streamers picked up on it. And then it exploded. I mean, especially in September of this year. I mean, the thing exploded. People were playing it all over the place, and this game had been out for, you know, a good little while at this point. And, I mean, at least December of 2018, and we're talking about a year or so later, and it finally explodes because I guess streamers picked up on it and people started playing it and all this other stuff, and it happens a lot. Minecraft was similar. You know, you've got Fall Guys that exploded onto the scene. Fortnite was similar, and then you also have the fact that a lot of these developers do pay people to stream their games as well, which you're sort of forgetting about. You know, they're like Fortnite. Fortnite paid a lot of people to play Fortnite, and it made it huge. You know, other games do that as well. We've seen it with like Apex Legends. I think they did it too, although they may not be as good as they were. I don't really know where that stands at the moment. But, you know, it's just kind of funny that this guy is all upset about, you know, people or saying, you know, you should be, you know, paying the developers to play their games online and stream it or whatnot, or do a Let's Play. And you know, I said hypocritically, or this guy, we'll talk about the hypocrisy of this guy as well, who, which I think we totally forgot about. But, you know, I mean, when you're going to go and stream some Fall Guys, and then in the same day chastise people for streaming games, saying you should pay people, as well as using fan art of another creator, when they were playing Savage Planet, which I think I got pulled up here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. I don't know who this guy is. Jacksepticeye. That name sounds familiar. I just don't know who it is. But, you know, he's got this fan art from when he was playing or streaming Savage Planet as his banner up here. You know, I think the artist here should be getting some money out of this. If we're going to play ball by Alex Hutchinson's, you know, thought process here, he owes money to the developers of Fall Guy, you know, whoever the heck that is right now. He owes them money for streaming, or if he stream anything that he streams, he owes them money. He owes the artist right here for this. He owes them money, and since he's using what is it, Jacksepticeye's likeness, you know, who happens to be a streamer, right? He probably owes them money. Considering he's using their likeness on a fan art, if we really want to get technical and stuff. So Alex here really owes some people money. What's really funny is, though, of course, now he no longer says he's the Google Stadia creative director here, and Stadia did release a small statement on the matter of the fact on it, right? And the recent tweets by Alex Hutchinson, creative director at the Montreal studio of Stadia Games and Entertainment, do not reflect those of Stadia, YouTube, or Google. So, you know, he now has Stadia Games and Entertainment, SG&E, Montreal studio here for a reason. You know, people may not actually know what SG&E mean, which is what I meant to get to earlier and then forgot to and trailed off on something else. But yeah, it's Studio Games and Entertainment at Montreal studio. And when you look it up, you don't exactly find, you know, Stadia Games and Entertainment Montreal studio in the Google search right off the bat. Instead, you find things like this here, talking about it. But yeah, so he's being distanced from Stadia. Way to go, dude. Way to have a hot take. Anyway, we've gone on long enough. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.